Hello, we're speaking to Malcolm Harbour, a Tory MEP here in the European Parliament, and I wanted to just pose a couple of questions to Mr Harbour. And firstly, Mr Harbour, I would like to focus on the changes introduced by the Lisbon Treaty. How do you feel that the new role given to Parliament is going to impact on its role? Do you believe it will lead to more political wrangling, or how do you see the consequences of the implementation of Lisbon?
No, I don't think it'll lead to more political wrangling at all. I mean, there will be new areas that will go into co-decision. I mean, particularly areas like agriculture, intellectual property, and a number of other areas. But I mean, you know, we're used to working on co-decision already. For my committee, we've been working as a legislative committee under this sort of regime for many years. So it doesn't really alter our role that way. I very much welcome the stepped-up engagement with national parliaments. I think that's the thing that we really need to concentrate on. My committee has many ideas about that. And the main thing now will be to get our colleagues in national parliaments to come with us and take part in it. And that may be more difficult. I think we're willing, but whether they are, we have to wait to see.
That's very much the case, and I suppose you mentioned the work of your committee. I mean, at this point, very much appreciate it if you could outline the kind of achievements, I suppose, that you can mark out over the course of your last term, and going forward, what you think your priorities will be.
Yeah. Well, we had two major achievements in terms of the single market in the last committee. It was the Services Directive and also a complete reform of all the regulations about goods circulating within the internal market. And both of those are just about to be implemented. Now, a lot of our work in the next Parliament is actually going to be scrutinising the core existing rules governing the single market to make sure they're working properly for consumers and for the economy. So that includes services, goods, also the mutual recognition of qualifications, which doesn't work so well, and public procurement, which also needs a lot of attention because public markets are huge. And I think they could be doing a lot more to drive innovation and helping citizens than they are at the moment.
And then I suppose finally you mentioned the role of national parliaments going forward. It'd be a question I would be sort of criticised for not putting to you, but what do you think the impact of a potential Tory government is going to have in terms of the UK's voice here in the Parliament?
Well, I think the UK's voice will be stronger in the Parliament. I mean, we've already realigned ourselves in a way that David Cameron is very happy with. So, and we continue to work very strongly with other parties. Essentially, we have more people in key positions on committees and coordinators, shadow rapporteurs, and so on. And I know that David Cameron and the shadow cabinet are looking to strengthen our work in negotiation, in being more consistently present, in building political networks. Because we've seen the Labour government has not negotiated strongly on Britain's behalf. And they're not sending ministers to enough meetings. I mean, a good example recently, we had a competitiveness council meeting organised by the Swedish presidency, a lot of important factors, and the UK could not even field a minister for that meeting. They sent an official. Now, that's not good enough, and we will change things.
That's very good. Mr Harbour, thank you very much for participating in Politics Talk, and I wish you very well for the rest of your term. Thank you.
Pleasure.